that's been kicked in the nuts by fake news. Nobody knows what to believe.
I don't know what I said.
We need one maverick newsman to cut through all the noise and tell us what's really real.
I'm not that guy. Hello, and welcome to Really Real with Richie Redding. I'm Richie Redding. It'd be really, really weird if Really Real with Richie Redding was not hosted, but I don't feel like I can never have a guest host for this. It would have to be somebody with a ton of alliteration in their name as well. But what's up? Welcome to the episode. Happy post-Memorial Day for those that celebrate. We got Bobby back behind the ones and twos. We're back from the old brick wall, baby. We've got my boy Twiz holding it down in Nigeria. And perhaps the greatest unintended consequence ever. Last week, I posted the bit that we did only because Twiz was here of talking about how we can possibly scam Nigerians with their own Nigerian scam. I posted it, and for my numbers, it blew up on TikTok and has 150,000 views, like 3,000 comments, and the comments themselves are hilarious because it's a combination of three things. It's either we're not scammers in Nigeria. Everybody's innocent. I don't know what you're talking about. Or there's there's naive people here. They're going to get hurt. I would hate to see anybody get hurt. And then the third one is, we're going to scam the shit out of you for saying this. Dude, I'm not opening any fucking attachments for like the next 6 months at least. One dude straight up said, like, bro, I'm going to get your identity for this. And also, to make it even more confusing for them, I had Twiz holler back at him in the comments in Pidgin, which is like the Nigerian patois. So as far as they know, some mid-40s white guy has just hit him with the dem play. And is Colo Colo was the other thing that I don't know what the hell it means, but
that just means drugs, weed.
Means you're on drugs. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was also it was also thanks for the new format. So if anybody, that would be amazing if they actually start scamming people as Diane Feinstein. That would really tickle the cockholds of my heart. But also, we've got the red, white, and woo on, and I wanted to make sure that I pointed out that I do talk a lot of shit here, but I do love my country, and Memorial Day always makes me think of my grandfather, who he volunteered for the Navy when he was just about to turn 17 and needed to get his mother's approval in order to do it. Youngest of 12, and they don't make him like that anymore. And, the dude saw the world from a Navy ship and never set foot on an airplane, which is pretty crazy. Wow. But yeah, he was a real one. It's funny because Fleet Week is this week also, and whenever I see those guys walking around, you see it's so gay that they have to walk around in their uniform in the Pillsbury Doughboy outfit. But my grandfather had these old pictures of him, and it's like him and two buddies, and they're smoking cigarettes, and it's like a sepia picture, and then there's like bottles in the background and stuff, and there's like a glass in front of them. It was like, Pop, this is the best picture I've ever seen. Like, was this like staged, like, like the boardwalk type thing? Like they made it look like you guys were at a saloon? He's like, well, no, we were drinking. Drinking and getting in fist fights. That's what it was about back then, back when you could still have fun. But on Memorial Day, I also thought that this was really nice. That last night I had shows in the city, and I had to go past Madison Square Garden, and I saw two honest to goodness hoes, like real street hoes walking on the streets of New York City. And I got nostalgic. I did, Bobby. When's the last time you saw hoes on the stroll, dude? It was
certainly
I felt like I was
pre-pandemic.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Huh?
Certainly pre-pandemic.
Oh, dude, it's been a minute. I mean, also, it was funny. Like, part of me respects the hustle. On the other hand, it's like, ladies, get on the internet. What are you doing? You don't have to be taking these risks anymore. Like, do you not have a fucking computer? Like, get your home money together and then go digital hoe. But yeah, dude, I mean, we're talking like fence net stockings, titties out, little fat roll over the way too short mini skirt, like really doing the thing. So I grew up near Atlantic City, as you know, and we had Pacific Avenue that, like, in the 80s and 90s, it had to be one of the biggest open air, like, you know, hooker markets on the East Coast, at least, right? Because it was all the drunks coming out of the casinos with the chicks. And that was like the joke was whenever a chick was considered to be a hoe in high school, it was always like Pacific Avenue, dude. But it was like she jerked off one guy and was just labeled a whore. It's not very fair. I remember being at I went to a fight with my dad one time, and a dude, like, it was all straight out of Central Casting. It was a white pimp that, like, you know, it was a white guy with cornrows type thing, and he was in like a bright green suit, like it was straight out of a fucking movie. And he walked in first. He's got like the fake ass chains all over him and shit. And that guy in himself was a conversation piece. And then two just hoes, like they're like just the most obvious shit in the world pulled up next to him, and he like walks these chicks around. He walked them in front of like our section. You know, at first I was like, there's part of me that was like embarrassed for these girls. So it was like, Jesus, is this really happening? Like, this dude's just putting these, like, it was an actual meat market. It was a fight too, so it's all kind of testosterone and stuff. So I'm like embarrassed for everybody for a second. You know, it's like, oh, this guy's dressed like this and he's walking these girls around. Like, nobody's going to go for this. Some guy in the back just whistles, goes, yo, how much? And the guy yells back, 700. He goes, I'll give you 1,000 for two. He goes, all right. And he just like parks the girls, who's like, go up there. And then I like, you know, the girls like go up and talk to the guy or whatever, and I guess they work it out. They're going to meet him afterwards. And then the dude shows up at another section with another two girls and starts walking them past the crowd. Wow. Like, yeah. But I mean, part of me likes that we've got the humanity back in human trafficking. You know what I mean? Like, there's no shipping container. These girls were from Atlantic City. They're going to die in Atlantic City. That's the way it should be. One of the best stories from group therapy for drinking stuff was, I got this buddy, Steve, that he tells this story all the time, that he was a crackhead, and his like wife-ish situation supported both of their crack habits by turning tricks. And there was a time when he couldn't get crack, so he was just drinking himself into an absolute stupor. And he wakes up out of this stupor and realizes that she isn't there. And he goes like running down the street, like half undressed with like an empty bottle, ready to kick ass. And he finally finds her like on the corner turning tricks. They get into a huge domestic violence situation. He winds up getting arrested, and it was because she was cheating on him. And like the cop that arrested him, like also kicked his ass a little bit, but like also knew him. And he was like, bro, she's fucking doing this shit for you. He's like, oh, right. That's a new level of crackhead, dude. I get pissed that the chick that's out essing some D's for you is cheating on you. All right, that got off to a weird start. I'll tie this in a tad. I do want to. We've got some housekeeping to do to tie up some other ends from other episodes, but for whatever reason today, I was thinking about those very hoes. I was also thinking about how I was talking about the model stuff recently. You know, the Sports Illustrated models, and wanted to know what happened to the Victoria's Secret model, the special needs one. Bobby, you following me so far?
I'm with you so far.
The question was always, is it ethical to have a special needs person that is dressing sexy, right? Like that's always been the real discomfort of it all. And I think I might have actually cracked the case, because if you can put up that thing there, that search that I made, I looked up on Pornhub Down syndrome, and it comes up with nothing. And
wow,
dude, there is some very unethical stuff happening on Pornhub, but even they, zero matches, no matches, bro. That is. Wait, did I crack this case? I mean, these are not known as the Boy Scouts of the internet over at Pornhub, if you've seen that documentary. But if Pornhub says no, I say no. So stay the fuck out of there. But when I looked them up, also, or looked that chick up, there's actually two Down syndrome models, one Australian one and one from Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican one is the one that they used, but at first I was thinking of how pissed you'd have to be if you were the first Down syndrome model doing it, and then some other one, some Johnny come lately, just breezes into town, steals your whole gig. Right. But then I really thought it out a little bit more. It's like, no, wait, what if you're just a regular ass model that was like, that almost got the cover of Victoria's Secret? Yeah, we decided to go in another direction. Look, just know that there's nothing you could have done. Okay, it's not about you. It's oh man. And I also feel like I'm allowed to make these jokes because, well, does everybody have somebody in their family? Or is that because I got Southern family? Does everybody got somebody it's touched?
I think it has more to do with the mullet than it does just everybody, Richie.
That's called the good Lord's favor right there, brother. That ain't just some haircut. No, I mean, it's so funny because all the sensitivity around that word and how far we've come with that word. Like, I remember in the 80s, my aunt looking me dead in the eye and telling me that my cousin was retarded. And with absolutely no compunction about it whatsoever. Like, the word was the least of her worries. Like, she had, put it this way, if you're worried about the R word, why would you name a brand new baby boy Ray Ray. Why would you do that? That's the most retarded name in the world, dude. And yo, Ray Ray, he had the heart of a lion, but he was a 10 out of 10, bro. I mean, like whatever scale there is from Victoria's Secret model being a 1 to Ray Ray, like my man was all the way R-worded. Yeah, dude, he was a big time rocker. I only saw, I think I last saw him when I was like 12 or something, because they moved like way down south. But he was a rocker. He just had like Christian music tapes that he just played out. But like whenever it got to his favorite part, like he really hit those high notes with him. But
did he hit the high notes, Richie?
Huh?
Did he hit the high notes?
Oh, he hit him. He hit him. He was on the high end of the R-word choir. But one of the only, like, it was just that, but, and like he was kind of nonverbal. No, he talked, right? But like he was just all about just rocking out with his music. And we were at my grandmother's house, and he was in the bathroom, and my grandmother's talking about Ray Ray, like something about, I forget what it was. She was saying something about something he had to do or wasn't doing or something. And it's like 5 of us sitting in her living room, and from the toilet we hear, "I hear you." Oh, classic Ray Ray. Just classic. I think we might clip that out, Bobby, if you want to make a note. But oh, dude, so I wanted to I was also looking for it. I spent a good 30 minutes because I talked about the most unlikable comedian in the world last week in one Mike Rage, that the aging wigger. He dressed like Hip Hop the Bunny, the dunking mascot from the 76ers. I know if we have any gumshoes out there, I know there's good clips of this guy that he did a Jay-Z cover song, but it was just like, "I'm a smoker, baby." It was exceptionally bad. But the only time I ever remember him posting something of his stand-up was at a restaurant by that same guy, bitch ass Dan, the promoter, in the middle of his set at the restaurant. Yeah, that's Hip Hop the Bunny. In the middle of his set at this restaurant, a tray of sizzling fajitas went by, and like he's trying to tell his jokes, and just this choo-choo train of smoke and just lost attention just goes through the video. It's like, why would you post this, bro? And he's in the middle of like, "Stupid people." So if anybody can find that, I would be eternally grateful to you if you can find Mike Rage comedy. The problem is Mike Feeney had an album called Rage Against the Routine. That's really fucking everything up. But one of the mysteries of Mike Rage was he had and he was all of 52, probably 55, like when he started coming around doing comedy. And he had this like 20-year-old hot blonde chick that was always coming around with him. And then like he kind of eventually realized that they were married, and then they had kids and shit. And it's like, what how the fuck did this guy pull this off? And then, but she was always like off to the distance. And when he finally talked to her, heavy Ruski accent. It was like, okay. Okay, we know what's going on here. We got a little 90-day action. But dude, I had a neighbor at my parents in Sweetwater, New Jersey, that I met him at the local bar, which was an absolute just haven for hard drinking middle-aged people. And he was a tall guy, and he had like the rivets from plugs that he had like clearly just gotten when I met him. Just, have you ever seen like fresh plugs that look like it's an actual cornrow of just hair put in? And these guys at the bar were like, a guy at the bar was calling him Pluggo. So he's like, yeah, have you met Pluggo over there? I was like, no, why? He's like, oh, dude, he's this is his bachelor party. So you got to ask him about this wife, but ask him about the other ones too. So I wind up like going over and talking to this dude, like, hey man, heard you getting married, like, congrats. And he's like, yeah, man, got a great contract with this one. Like, huh? That was like the first, he led with that. It's like, I got a great contract with this one. That apparently he was on his fourth mail order bride. And the first one was Russian, and she would like only hook up with him on days that he sent her family money. And then the second one like insisted on having like she wanted like a salary for herself basically, and like quarterly payments to her family in order to give him any kind of affection. And he said for this third one, he like got this search company, and like, I mean, dude, this is disgusting to clarify. He's like, yeah, I fell in love with a real broke family, and we got this, dude, this contract is great. So it says that she's got to have sex with me at least once a week, that I can choose to give her X amount of dollars, but for every child that we have, then her family gets this much money. And for every year that we're together, if she's to leave me, then she gets like $10,000. She can't touch my money. But if we have a kid, the kids have to stay here. And it was, but he said it, that he was saying this like he just like he was, it was like he was talking about a Bugatti or something. Like it was like these killer features, like, yeah, it goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. But and like he was like bragging about like what hot shit he was for getting this contract. He's like, and dude, the best part is that I've got video of her family signing the contract with a Ukrainian translator, of me signing the contract with a translator, everything. It's just the most tied up prenup in the world, dude. And it's like, yeah, cool, man. He tried to get me to do stand up on a boat to meet her family. Like he was having some kind of party because they were coming over for like, you know, the meeting of the families type thing when they first got married. It was like, for half Ukrainian people, and I'm going to be stuck on a pontoon boat. This is a pass. This is a hard pass. But so here's why I'm telling you this story. This is the great part of it, is that she comes over and she's 21. She's a smoke show, right? And then I see her a year later, still hasn't had a kid. She's gained 50 pounds. I see her a year later, she's pushing a stroller. She's gained 100 pounds. I see her, the last time I saw her was like 5 years later, and she's pushing 2 kids in strollers. She's easily 350 pounds. Because nowhere in the contract does it mention that she can't be medically morbidly obese. So I think she found the ultimate loophole, how to still stick it to this jackass with his fucking wedding contract. Dude. I don't know. Are you not as tickled by this as I am?
I think it's hilarious.
It's the only way that she could have won, and she did. Only way to get out of back. Oh, and by the way, this guy was like, I mean, he had to be in his 60s when she, when her parents sold her to this guy.
Was by any chance was Mike Rage a stage name?
Yes. Actually, I don't know that it was, because it also turned out he lived not but 15 miles from my parents, and he had a Rage construction company.
Interesting.
What are you getting?
I did a little research. I was trying to find the fajita video for you. There's a guy named Michael Byer, a.k.a. Mike Rage, from New Jersey, USA. And you said last time he helped Kevin Hart out and was trying to expose it. Like, used that he helped him along the way, if I recall. Was that him? Same guy, or am I mixing up stories?
I mean, he might have claimed to have found him or something. That sounds like something he would do.
Let me show an image, and we'll see if it's him. How's that sound?
Is he instantly unlikable? That's him if it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much him. Tatted all over.
I don't know about that part. That might be a new addition. Yes, that has to be him.
That's awesome. All right. I know this isn't what we plan to do, but I think we should look at his Twitter page real quick because it's quite entertaining to me.
100% fuck whatever I was about to do.
Give me 1 second to set it up.
Let's party. Yeah. Okay. And also remind. I will also add some context of him being so instantly unlikable that, like, he apparently hadn't done comedy for at least 2 years at the point that I met him, and and I didn't know this, but we had beef for at least a year, because I somehow brushed him off, and he was going around my back and telling people I was talking shit about him. It was just like, yeah, all right.
So
yes.
If you
What
go,
do we got?
We've got his pinned video tweet, which is a song, USA Rocker, Making Music Great Again.
Oh, he's doing a Kid Rock turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got George Floyd riots anonymously exposed as deep state psyop for NWO.
Dude, wait a second. He's going full Q?
Oh, he went full Q. This is one of my favorites. This is a 60-year-old man.
Yeah,
it's just a picture of him shirtless.
He looks like he's in MS-13.
He's got the evolution tattoo just on his lower ribs for some reason.
Yeah, but like, also respect. The dude does, if however old he is, he's keeping it tight. Well, this will only say that. He's an awful jackass, but
he is fit.
Yeah. What else we got? I need a video.
We're about to get to it, but just this tweet. I don't own the rights to the music. It's a parody for sure, but check it out. These lyrics are better than Jay-Z's.
Yes.
What do you think, Jay-Z or Mike Rage?
Oh, yeah. August of 2009.
19. Thankfully.
Wait. Was it?
Yeah, these are all post-election.
Scroll up again. It's 2019. Okay.
Yeah. And here we've got the song that I think we're going to see a lot of. It's him and his son. Let me unmute the site.
Yes.
This isn't my computer screwing up.
Is that what it actually sounds like?
Yep.
Wait.
I think he edited this video to sound weird, but we've got
Did
his
he
song.
edit it to sound weird, or did he get fucked up uploading it and then he just kept it up?
Probably that one.
Not even
Let's just go to YouTube. We got to check out this song.
We really do.
I have it on good authority. This is a father-son duo.
Like how the flag's also going backwards, like we're in distress.
It doesn't even have a view. Like nobody's watching.
I need you to read the text up top.
I'm a USA rocker.
You must watch this if you're a patriot American.
Patriotic American. And it's just over and over. You must watch this.
Ask not what your country can do for you, rather what you can do for your country. Judge a man by the content of his character, not the color of his skin. Ride or die, time for patriots to rise.
USA man, well born and bred. I hear the Constitution in my head. North and south and coast to coast. No matter what your skin color, forget what you heard. If you work with a gas station, if you're Donald Trump and run the nation, we're all the same.
Hold it, pause. If you work at a little gas station, if you're Donald Trump and you run the nation.
Richie, I need you to understand. He tweeted this video at Donald Trump, at Kim Kardashian, at any celebrity in the news for the next.
Him?
Just watch this, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Donald Trump, Kim Kardashian and UCLA, GOP and Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald
Why
Trump
would
and
he
Fox
drop
News.
Mikey Rage though?
White House, GOP, Donald Trump, Kim Kardashian.
Dude.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Do you? Oh my
Candace
god!
Owens?
Do you know how? Huh? Candace Owens?
Yep.
He tried to get CO on board. Do you know how far down the rabbit hole this guy must have gone into? Because like I think I've talked about this before. That like this is the first time, and I'm going to talk about it more later. But that very dumb people think they're the smartest people. Right, like just with the alternative facts and the accessibility of whatever you want somebody to tell you. But dude, holy shit! Can you speed that up?
Yep.
Thousands of these goddamn saves. How did anybody ever like it?
I have
Just
yet to
pause for a
see a
sec.
like.
Huh?
I haven't seen a like yet.
Wild, dude. I mean, you really need to have a special broken brain. Were these one a day?
No.
Or was it?
No. We'll start. This is June 6th. We'll see how many times he tweeted it in one day. We're the only ones.
Hey,
So
wait a
there's-
second. Just to clarify, just because nobody's watching something yet doesn't mean it isn't good.
It might be an
But-
undiscovered gem.
They might be huge in Nigeria, for all you know. Dude, that's what I need to do. Just take my talents elsewhere.
6,
That's all one
7,
day.
8, 9, 10, 11. Maybe this is what we're doing wrong, not tweeting it enough.
It could be. All right, I can't, dude. This is all one day.
There were 21 tweets in one day, and then we have the official Kevin Hart story, the true story to Kevin Hart's fame through the eyes of someone who was there.
Yes. How long is that?
Oh,
13 minutes.
So I'm at the comedy club, right? And he walks in. I'm like, hey, you want to go up? I discovered him.
192 views.
I mean, that's how much clout Kevin Hart does carry, that almost 200 people would even dare to click on that thing for so much as 30 seconds. Like, that's pretty wild. All right, I'll have to look at that offline another time. There's plenty of Mike
I
Rage
just
to come around.
appreciated how much he was into Trump.
incredible, and I thank you for that. Speaking of the Laugh House, I which is where I know him from. I mean, just the most insane people per square foot that you've ever seen with that open mic. Mike Rage being one of them, but I was just reminded of this very. So I used a phrase that cracked up the girls at the stand, and I was reminded where I first heard it. That there was like it was when I first started hosting, which was a big deal to me at the time. There was a feature which was a very big deal. You know, like getting to feature was like a really fucking big step up. And there was this feature that was awful. And she was probably like a 55-year-old white lady that would have bombed anywhere but at the Laugh House, which was an all-black club. I mean, she was just immediately going down in flames every time. And it was supposed to be half hour. Features used to do half an hour. Now they do 15 or 20. But it got to the point that she had like a breakdown after like in the middle of like the third bomb. And I think they actually replaced her on the final show. But she has this breakdown and she's like, look, I had a family that I don't see anymore. I had a job that I quit to pursue my dream. I am pursuing my dream, and I am touring this country, living out of my car, right? And like she pauses on living out of my car. Like it's this really poignant thing that the whole audience is just going to have sympathy for her. And it's like a perfect 2 beats of silence. And some guy goes, "Stank, bitch." Yo, the place erupts in laughter. It just absolutely erupts as she's having a breakdown, right? And she starts going into the rest of her shitty, I mean, like just street jokes. And she hits the punchline of every one of them. And that dude again just stank, bitch, and the place is just going crazy. So like by like the 5th one, I mean, she could barely get any words out. Like people were falling out of their chairs laughing, but it was just because of that dude. It was the most successful heckle I've ever seen in my life. Like I would not be surprised if that guy started comedy like the next Wednesday. It was just like, I can do this.
I thought that was the Kevin Hart story, the path to fame.
Yeah, the real story is that my sister was trying comedy. But yeah, she was a carpet bomber, which is it's a style of getting booked that I can't imagine ever doing, which was that, and it used to be really prevalent, like when everything was done over the phone, that some comics would just call so many times and ask to talk to the booker that they would finally say yes just to wipe them off the books. and that's what this stank bitch did. She called and she called. She finally got her date and then did not come back. But yeah. So every time I call somebody a stank bitch, I can't help but think of our girl. Yeah, I'm staying true to form. I'm not going to cover at least half the topics that I have on my stupid sheet. But if we ever do start doing 2 a week, it's going to be pretty easy, Bobby. You know, if we can get this fucking view count over 30, maybe we'll start a Patreon. What a wildly unsuccessful Patreon. Here's our tips. But dude, so Succession, did you watch? Are you a fan of Succession? Okay, it's a great show. We caught up on like the last 3 episodes all at once. And I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but there's a scene where the youngest guy in the family like fires everybody. He literally fires like 1,000 people over a Zoom call, and he's just like, well, did that, like just completely heartless about it. And it reminded me of the first job that I ever had. It was this company called Tech Planet, and it was a startup that just didn't keep starting up. And it was something like 25 offices nationwide, and over a company-wide conference call, it was just like one Friday. It was like, hey, so we really appreciate everybody for all their effort and all their hard work, but unfortunately, there's not enough money in the company coffers to cover payroll, so we're not going to be able to pay you. And we all look at each other in the Philly office like, the fuck? And these other offices were like, so we have so much faith in the company, so like, what if we just took more stock options? There's no value to those stock options, and we've stopped paying the rent. There's no point. And they keep like, yeah, but like, what if we can like turn things around and there's like stock buybacks? Like, yeah, you don't get it. So the guy finally like weasels his way off the phone. And my boss, who I hated up until this very point, she was an Asian lesbian that looked like Oddjob. And at this point, and she just did not like me. That's why I didn't like her. So she hangs up the phone and goes, fuck it. This company owes me about $5,000. I'm going to take my laptop and that Mac G4 over there. Everybody else, figure out what you're owed. And it's an explosion of people out of this office. Like, I've got that computer. I was like, I got the server. I went over and grabbed the server and like a couple of like monitors and shit. Dude, this place got looted so hard, it was unbelievable. There's one dude that showed up like towards the end of it. He was out on a sales call. He's like, what's going on? And somebody just goes, we're all fired, so we're looting. And this dude just like, he just gets into action. This motherfucker, I saw him wheel the Xerox machine out the front door. And also the server was heavy as shit, so I had to take my desk chair and I just put it on the desk chair, and I had to like prop open the side door to get the thing through because I couldn't go through the revolving doors. But the best part of it was that literally every other office out of 25 all went out like holding hands, singing Kumbaya and shit. And the Philly office went out straight looting. Just looting. By the end of it, dude, like I heard from somebody else that I was friends with there that there was like no light bulbs left. The coffee machine was gone. The coffee was gone. Philly got there, son. Too good. But yeah, I feel like if you haven't had a job that you hate, I don't trust you. You know?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that builds character more than wanting to smoke your boss right in the face. And like, I feel like you're not a real American unless you've done that. Or Nigerian, Twiz. As your boss, you laugh too much at that, Twiz. I'm your boss. You're like, yeah, I'm going to smoke you. I'm just right in the kisser. This is for colonialism. But that absolute abortion of a campaign launch that DeSantis did, that video, one of the things that it says is like, you know, to paraphrase, I watched it once, but it was like, you know, as a kid, I grew up working minimum wage jobs, and I learned how to pull myself up by the bootstraps. And there's such a fetishization by Republicans of working a minimum wage job that like that it's this thing that's like a rite of passage. But also it's like, dude, if you're doing that when your parents are paying the rent and paying for you to go to school and all that shit, that's fine. But like, if you are a parent and you're working a middle wage or a minimum wage job, you're toast. And this thing, so there's an idea right now in like, you know, Republican policy heads that thinks that you can somehow square the circle of having a super low minimum wage and also kicking out all the Mexicans. And seriously, there's these videos that people are starting to post, and it's like, you don't know if maybe they're a little bit set up because it's like the first guy there or something, but there's all these videos and it's like, I'm on my construction site right now. There's usually Mexican music playing. There's usually, 40 guys with hammers right now. All the Mexicans have left because they're afraid of DeSantis's policies. And dude, there's no amount of work or amount of minimum wage that could convince Americans to go pick strawberries and oranges. Right? Like at the pace and the rate that it has to be done. You're telling me a kid that has a fucking TikTok account and believes that all he has to do is just, feed the algorithm with the right amount of content, that fucking kid is going to get out there and do back-breaking work? There's not a chance, dude. There's not a fucking chance. And the fetish of it is so absolutely bizarre of like, yeah, I did it when I was a kid. And then you went to the Naval Academy, and then you went straight into officer school. And then, Ron, let's face it, you probably oversaw the torture of some people at Guantanamo. So let's talk about that. I don't know. It drives me crazy. But, okay, what do you want to talk? Indian neighbors or tweets by feds? Yeah, we've still got we got a little time to talk about tweets by feds. This was a fun one. I don't know, I might wind up cutting this. A very fun follow is tweets by feds. It's at suspects fed. It's all this shit of like people just trying to it's very obvious entrapment on Twitter. Like, hey, anybody have some machine gun parts for sale? I'm totally not a cop. It's always that kind of thing. And this was one that I saw this when it first popped. It looked super weird, but and they pointed it out also, which was that there was, and don't put that picture up, Bobby, because there's some symbols on it that are not great for the old YouTube. But this story went super viral that a shipment of cocaine from Peru that was en route to Europe was seized, and it was like 30 kilos or something. It was like a pretty insignificant amount, and it had let's say SWAT stickers on it, if you know what I mean. I did not see that coming. But yeah, so that was the first detail of it that went viral was the Nazi symbol on like 30 kilos of blow. And then there was a follow-up to it like 4 days later, which was that it's also imprinted with the words Hitler on it. And it's up there with the white supremacist guy, which I talked about. Who knows? Maybe that guy was just mentally ill enough that he was the Mexican white supremacist, but like, Vice was put this out there like it's gospel, and then in like the same article they're talking about like, oh, there's also some bullshit fake lines of cocaine that are really like upsetting people, they literally just like put these stories out to get traction and to upset squares. And like, what's going to get more attention in Europe for the problem of smuggling than if we can throw Nazi symbols onto some cocaine. And it's like, I don't know. This one's glow in the dark to me. It's way too obvious. And I mean, there was like, after 9/11, there was like the heroin packs and shit supposedly that were like, we got that Taliban, we got that Al Qaeda, but that was popping. That was still cool. The Nazis lost, dude. You know? There hasn't been any Taliban heroin since we pulled out, I bet.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah. Oh, and also, I do need, since I had talked about it a bunch of times, that guy has officially gone too far with the Taliban PR. It became he went too overboard with the silliness of it, and I'm now pretty sure that it is in fact just some guy fucking around. But it was very fun for a few months where you couldn't tell if he was. If it was actually the Taliban. But
you're sure this tweet by the feds isn't just like a promo for the next Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I am the one who knocks. Call me the Fuhrer.
Fast and Furious. But so then last night, Mark Cuban had a hilarious one that he posted this. Got a personal question for everyone watching Heats versus Celts right now. Who is watching on a pirated stream? I'm curious how prevalent it is. And he just got dog-piled with people calling him Narc Cuban, which was great. But dude, who is responding to that? Yeah, me, dude. And all I could think about when I saw that was back when I was a kid, when somehow never noticed the FBI warning on VHS tapes until it was the first porn that I ever put on the screen, and then just seeing FBI, like, oh shit! I already had the fucking shades down and everything. I knew my parents were out of the house. I had a good teeny boner going, and then the feds, like, holy shit. I think that's missing. That's what Pornhub needs to start off with, that. Just the FBI is watching you in case you put Down syndrome porn in there. I'm definitely on. Dude, if ever there was a time that I should have been on private browsing, was today when I put Down syndrome into Pornhub. That one might come back and bite me there, Baba. I wanted to tell the true story of this is one Twiz already knows, but it was one of the funniest times I ever had in New York City. Was it was like perfect day. And I told this story on an album, but it's such a ridiculous fucking story that I was just reminded of it today. Of perfect day, and I'm on my way to New York Comedy Club. It's like 6:00, and there's a whole bunch of people. There's like a semicircle of people gathered around something, and there's like a big to-do about it. And immediately realized that it's all German tourists. They got the camera. There's 7-foot tall white guys with fucking socks and sandals on, and the subject of interest was a raccoon that's standing up on a trash can, is hissing at him and shit. And dude, these people, it was the definition of just white curiosity, that like. They're going up right next to this thing, like, oh, scratchy, oh, see what I can raccoon, y'all. And like this thing's vicious. It's clearly got rabies, but they're just taking selfies. Some girl's took a selfie. She's got armpit hair and shit, right? And right outside of them, behind them, there's a bunch of Chinese people taking pictures of the Germans taking pictures of of the fucking of the tourists, and I knew they were Chinese because they were all like holding the camera and smoking without touching the cigarette, right? And it's a perfect day. So naturally, the Chinese ladies have umbrellas, right? There's a Nigerian dude selling umbrellas to them. And it looked like it was going to rain. Like there was like, you know, like you could feel rain, but it's like, it's still super nice. And, it's if you've ever caught or if you ever bought a $5 umbrella, you know that they're good for like one gust of wind and it just gets turned inside out. And I'm super lucky in the time it takes me to go through. Chinese lady had just bought this umbrella from the Nigerian dude. The thing gets turned inside out by a gust of wind, and she freaked out on a level no American ever could. I mean, dude, she went off on this dude in the most un-PC shit ever. She's like, "You give my money back! You give my money back now!" She throws it at him. She goes, "You Black Africa!" She called this man Black Africa, and I mean, dude, the entire I was just like, "Good!" Like, holy shit! And it was at this moment that I learned that you will never ever get your money back from a Nigerian guy because he's completely unfazed by all this racist shit that she just said. And he goes, "Let me ask you something. You people, you are all Chinese people? One question. Who do you think made the umbrella?" And, and I'm just like walking by like, fucking game, set, match, Nigeria wins! That was sick!
That's a fact, yeah, that's a real fact. Over here, anything that comes in from China, it's always like, it's so par, it's not really of quality. It's just, you can't get blown away by anything. It's fucking true.
Twiz, I understand everything you're saying right now, but I promise you nobody on YouTube knows what the fuck you're saying. I love you, buddy, but it's a pretty thick accent you got there, brother. But guys, this was awesome. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe and do the things that, let's face it, you haven't been doing. If so, it'd be going way better right now. But I really appreciate you for listening, for watching, and for sharing. Bobby, thank you so much. Twiz, great hanging out. And I'll see you next week. I'm Richie Redding. That's really real.
In a world that's been kicked in the nuts by fake news, nobody knows what to believe.
I don't know what I said.
We need one maverick newsman to cut through all the noise and tell us what's really real.
I'm not that guy. I'm just going to cover all of the dumb